Well, good morning everybody and welcome to the Sunday morning show. Hope you enjoyed that little bit of drone footage because we are at somewhere, well, actually a little bit special because my brother Paul is, I would say, a little bit secretive when it comes to what he does, whereas I'm kind of more open in what I do with my life and my job, let's say. Well, we're at Ivybridge Golf Club today, which is where Paul is attached. Paul has been here for probably best part of 20 years. Doesn't talk about it an awful lot because he just likes to go about his business, he likes to play his golf, but if you look at his attachment, whenever you see him playing in tournaments, you'll see Ivybridge Golf Club. Now, Ivybridge Golf Club is a stone's throw from Plymouth, so not far away from Plymouth, which is where Paul's based. And it used to be called Dinnerton Golf Club. And you've got the gym here, which is all part of the Dinnerton, let's say, estate, let's call it. And you've got a 9-hole golf course, which is just behind me, and what you saw from the drone footage. Well, Paul has been on a bit of an adventure. And just behind me, on the left-hand side here, is a brand new studio. For the last probably 6 months, Paul, bouncing between his golf, bouncing between filming with me, doing all the things that we've been doing, he's been creating an indoor studio here at Ivybridge Golf Club. I've not even seen it once. I've seen a few photographs as he's been going through, but I've never been down here to come and see what he's been up to because, like I said, he likes to keep things a little bit close to his chest. However, he's ready to reveal it. He hasn't even done one golf lesson in there yet. I think he's just been practicing himself. But I thought we'd come down here today and share with you Paul's new indoor studio.
And here he is.
Finally made it.
I made it, yeah. Have you got the coffees on?
Yeah, ready.
Good. Can you just give me, obviously, a little bit of an insight? I've chucked the drone up.
Yeah. Well, it's Ivybridge Golf Club.
Yep.
And it's a 9-hole course. It's got 4 par 4s, 5 par 3s. It's a great little sort of starter beginner course. We've also got members who have been here for years, have been playing for years, and they just enjoy it. We're just on the edge of Dartmoor here, so
yeah.
Dartmoor National Park, so it's in a beautiful spot. And yeah, it's a nice little golf course where people go out and have some fun, really.
Now, I've told everybody that you've been here for about 20 years.
On and off, yeah.
On and off.
Well, I used to run the competitions for them back years and years ago, and then I came in as general manager for the golf course
right
about 12-15 years ago now, so
okay,
it's been a long time.
And this facility that we're about to walk into,
yeah,
I mean, it's been a number of things, but I'm pretty sure it was the changing room at one stage.
It was,
it
yeah. When I first came here,
yeah,
it was a bit of a mess, to be fair.
Yeah.
But it was the club's changing room.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And they've got their own facilities now down the bottom.
Yeah, we got a massive health club just down there with over 1,000 members.
Yeah.
And they've got great change of facilities down there, so we closed this one down and moved everybody into the health club.
Now, what people also don't know about you is you're quite into your greenkeeping, aren't you? As in, historically, you've done lots of greenkeeping here.
Over the years I have, yeah.
Yeah.
So I've got a pretty good understanding of how it does. I oversee all the operations here now out on the golf course, so I keep an eye on what goes on out there and come up with plans of how to get it better. Yeah.
But not just driving around with machines. You've actually had to be in the workshop fixing machines, sorting everything out.
Regularly fixing machines when they go wrong or they get crashed. But yeah, I'm pretty hands-on here.
Wow. Well, Paul, it's a little bit dark in the corner there. We will reveal what's going on there. But first impressions, I didn't know what to expect, to be honest. But this is impressive. Very impressive.
You thought it was some bodged effort, though.
Yeah, I did. I really did. I really did. But you've got more screens than well, certainly that I've got in my studio. So, wow, how long did this take you to make?
It's probably 3 or 4 months on and off, but that wasn't doing it full time. That was just doing a bit here, a bit there. I had to knock down walls, rebuild walls, put up screen, paint the whole place, put all new flooring down, build the simulator, screen up there, and we got projector up there. We had to redo all the lighting and stuff. So yeah, I've done it all on myself. I had somebody lay the flooring, but everything else I've done myself. Yeah.
Also, we just talked about this sort of dark area over here. You can see it now, it's lit up a little bit, but can you just flick those lights on and just see what we've got over in that corner as well there? And there you go. There's your putting green as well.
Yeah, it's
like a one-stop shop.
Well, yeah, I always think when you go in these studios that it would be good to have a nice putting area.
Yeah.
I think it's really important, especially if you're doing putting lessons and you know, and you get in the middle of the winter and your putting green's not in great shape. It's always good to have a nice indoor facility to be able to putt. So I made sure it was big enough to have a proper 6.5 meters long.
Yeah.
It's got 6 holes on it, so you got 6 options. And I've gone for a really good surface. I've gone for a well putt. It's quite expensive, but the proper surface, so it's a true roll. A lot of these AstroTurf surfaces, they're a bit bumpy. They kind of move around a little bit too much. So this one's pretty true, and it's as good as I can find really out on the market.
Obviously, I've put in a couple of these now. One at Torquay.
Yeah.
Obviously, we updated the one a little bit at Churston, but you came and had a little look at what my putting surface was at Torquay, and then certainly what you saw at Churston, and it's good. They're really good surfaces, but they're not perfect, are they?
No, they're not. No.
They're not like what you're going to get that true roll out on the green. So what you've got here is better again.
Well, I wanted something that if you're going to give a lesson,
Yeah.
you'd know it was the person and not the surface.
Yeah.
What you don't want to do is give a lesson and the ball's moving around. You can't really tell then if it's you or it's the surface that's making that ball miss. So I just felt like it's worth the investment to get the proper surface in that then just takes out. It's completely on the student then.
Yeah.
If it's missing the hole. You know?
Yeah. Flight Scope is the choice of launch monitor in the studio.
Yeah, it's really good.
Tell me about it, because
impressive.
I'm not massively up to speed with Flight Scope. I used to have a very, very old one, but how have you got on with it?
Yeah, really good. It's been in now for a couple of months. I've been testing it.
Yeah.
And it works brilliantly. I've tried obviously your quad, I've tried TrackMan in the past, and it's just as good as those. We can link 2 cameras through it, so when you hit a shot, it records the swing as well. It gives you all the amount of data points that TrackMan and quad give you. So yeah, really, really impressed with it. And it's a lot smaller, so it's a lot easier to take to the range, or take, like we're going to go away to Spain, aren't we, on a coaching week? So we're gonna take that because it's a lot easier to get on the flight, etc., than what the bigger units are. Yeah.
Yeah, because have you ever seen me trying to get through an airport with the quad? It's just carnage. It's funny when you get it through, when you're trying to go through customs with them. They've never seen anything like it before, and you're like, you're trying to explain what it is to these people, and they're like, I'm like, oh, it's just a camera. They're like, oh, well, it doesn't look like a camera. Yeah, no, it's just a camera. Yeah. So hopefully we won't have an issue getting that one through customs when we're going to Spain in February. Oh, that's just a little plug actually, because if anyone wants to come on that trip, Paul and I are running a coaching trip to Spain in February on the ticker bar. So setting up to hit a shot then, this isn't just for coaching, is it? You've kind of set this up for your own personal practice opportunities.
Yeah, it's something I'm going to use myself as well.
Yeah.
Especially in the winter when we got, the elements are bad outside. It's nice to get away somewhere warm without it raining and wind blowing all over the place. So, this is something I'm going to use myself as well, definitely.
And how much do you think, especially in the UK, obviously you practice an awful lot, or certainly used to practice an awful lot before you had kids. Do you think it's important to have this environment of relaxed feel, being indoors, hitting shots into a screen, compared to, let's say, being out in the wind and watching your ball fly everywhere and things like that?
I think too much of one way or the other is not good. I think you need a bit of a calm atmosphere with a bit of temperature. Yeah. Especially in January in England, you definitely need to be able to get away somewhere and walk where your muscles are warm and do some proper practice. Yeah. But also you need to get out in the elements as well, because you can't get detached from that. So you just need a blend of both. So this is quite good to have this environment. I can come and just jump out from time to time when I need.
Yeah, when you need it.
Need it. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. How's your back at the moment? Struggling still.
My back, it's not good.
It's not good.
You might have to take a couple of months off, I think.
What, and just ease it in? That's not good, is it? Anyway, right, back to the shot then. Pretty straight. Yep. 163 yard carry. That is your old 7-iron, Paul. That's
an old one I've just pulled out.
That's your Rory McIlroy, isn't it?
Yeah. It's not quite Rory, is it? It's a bit of extra.
No, but didn't that win wasn't that the set that won the 2015 PGA Champs?
It did back in the day, yeah.
So 163 yards, telling us we've missed it, 2 yards right of target. Yeah. Club head speed at the moment, 86 mile an hour with a 7-iron. Yeah. Pretty good numbers.
Yeah.
As in, like what I would see from let's say my quad. Those are tidy numbers.
Yeah.
How important is this side of it, do you think, when it comes to coaching?
Yeah, I think it is important. I suppose certainly with people who shank the ball.
Yeah.
Because what you'll find is that they'll have a general, when they hit one out the middle, it'll be generally out the heel.
Yeah.
And it's a great way of, I think there's a way of you can show where all the shots have come out.
Yeah. Okay.
Like a map.
Yeah, it gives you an average. Average map or heat map.
Like a heat map. You can see mine's a bit out the toe there.
Yeah.
If you were somebody who shanks the ball, your heat map would be here.
Yeah.
For sure, and then your occasional more heel. So for like a heel strike for me is going to be there.
Yeah.
A heel strike for a shanker is going to be here, which is why they shank the ball. So it's a great tool, and we used to use it before this was available. We used to put like a spray on the and then foot spray, and then you'd seal the shot pattern.
Yeah.
And it'd be quite easy then to show somebody who shanks it that they think they hit out the middle, but it's come out of here.
Yeah.
They're not using the toe at all. So it's a really good tool for something like that, definitely.
Now you're somebody that has, when you've practiced yourself, you've always kind of used camera work.
Yep.
I remember years of you kind of having Justin Rose up on the screen and you trying to mirror what he was doing over the years.
Yeah.
Again, how important is the balance between coaching with camera and this tool as well?
Yeah, it's great because you can hit one shot and then you get everything. You get the video from back and side on what they've done on that shot. You get all the data of how far the ball's gone, club head speed, everything. You get the path, you get the face angle, you get the strike location. So just one shot, you get so much information that it just allows coaching to be at another level.
I spy another putter. What is that in your hands, Paul? Lab Golf.
Mes Max putter.
Okay.
I was told by Joe the Pro that I had to get one.
Why?
So that's where we're at. Why have I got it? It's supposed to be lie angle balanced, so the face is a lot more stable through impact. So Joe reckons with the amount of rotation I've got that this is what I need, and this is going to be life changing.
First impressions. First impressions of it?
Yes, I quite like it. What I need is to have a bit of time just to get used to it, I think. And when you've got tournaments on at the time, I've actually been putting alright with my old putter, so I'm going to stick with that for my next tournament coming up, and then over the winter I'm going to experiment properly with this and try and get it in the bag.
You know Joe watches, do you? Every Sunday morning with his cup of coffee. Anyway, that putter looks, to me, it gives me the vibe of that new Tesla truck. I think from a shape point of view, it definitely looks a little bit like that. It doesn't look like a normal putter, does it?
No.
Do you like the look of it? Do you like the look of that?
Yeah, it's like any putter, isn't it? Or any club. If you use it enough, you just get used to it. And, and it's not all about looks, Dan.
But more importantly, tell me about the actual putting green itself. I mean, like I say, it's got some decent length to it.
Yeah. So it's 6.5 meters long, which gives you a decent sized putt. I've done it in a way, it's slightly uphill, slightly downhill, but not by much. But I've done it so that the grain of the surface goes with the slope. So that's given me 11.5 downhill.
Stimp metering?
And 9.5 uphill. So
wow,
it's good. It's good to have a different. I wanted to have a different speed in here, just to be able to experiment with different putts.
Yeah, absolutely, and it looks absolutely fantastic. It looks superb.
Good. It's good.
It looks
really
superb.
pleased with it,
But when it comes to like the actual lesson side of it, when it comes to putting lessons, I mean, you use your own device for this as well, don't you?
Yeah, I've got a cap toe device,
which
sits on the putter, and then it works with your iPad or your iPhone. And then it gives you all the data points of what happens in your stroke. And
how is it? How is it to use in comparison to, let's say, like a Sam Putt Lab or something like that? Is it just less information, or?
I'm not sure if it's less information. It's just a different way of analysing the data, I think.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit easier in that it's just a small little device that sits on the putter rather than I think the sound putt is quite a heavy device that goes on there, so
Yeah.
it's a bit easier from that point of view, a lot easier to use, definitely.
Yeah, I think it's massively important when it comes to putting, just to get a bit of a gauge as well. You know, feel is one thing, because I'm more of a feel kind of putter, but sometimes you do need to dial in those numbers just occasionally, just to see where you're at, give you a bit of a bench as to where you're at. I think it's so important. And for someone like you that tinkers with putting,
Yeah.
it's good to have.
I think you've got three elements of putting, haven't you? You've got the read, you've got the speed,
Yeah.
and then you've got the aim.
Yeah,
part.
yeah.
And certainly devices like the Capto is where it helps with the aim. You know, the speed is, a lot of that is feel.
Yeah.
The read is that's a whole nother
Yeah.
subject that you need to get out on the golf course and figure out how to read properly, and aim point's probably the only thing that there is out there to help reading.
Yeah.
So yeah, but the aim part is the bit I've always struggled with. The read and the speed, I'm usually right. It's getting that aim right, and having a device like that, practicing with that helps definitely.
For sure. The other thing I'm really impressed about, Paul, is just like, you know, people don't quite really understand is the fact that you've done this all on your own, you know, and, you know, even right the way down to knocking walls down and putting all the things that you've put up in here, the paint jobs, the lighting that you've put in here, but also like these panels around the back here.
Yeah, that was fun, sort of cutting these up and making sure they fit in all right. But these are really important to stop any balls deflecting off.
Yeah, cushions.
Cushion, you've got to cushion it. We had to put a ramp in. Here so that the ball then rolls back.
Okay.
You know, getting the screens in, because this was a wall that had to be built out. You have to build it like half a metre off the wall, so that the net's got enough room behind it.
Yeah,
so
because you don't want it pinging back. And you also got to take into effect as well, or take into account that net will sag over time.
Yeah.
So it will give a little bit as you hit more and more balls into it. Therefore, you've got to give yourself enough wriggle room behind.
Yeah.
So when it does come to that point, I've done a lesson once before at Torquay where it hit the back wall and hit me.
Right.
As in the person hit a shot and then hit me in the background.
Yeah.
So we had to redo the whole net. But you just got to take it all into
you just got to
consideration.
have enough room behind. So I've put plenty of room in there. But then you've obviously got to build all this out, the rest of the wall out.
Yeah.
There was windows in here, so I've had to box those off because you don't want balls going through windows, because that's not very productive. So yeah, it had to be kind of bomb proof in here to make sure, you know, if there's any errant shots, it's all pretty safe. So I had to put the projector up the top.
Yeah. Researching projectors, because they're not just like they don't just any old projector work, is it? You've got to get the right throw and everything.
Yeah, the right angles, the right throw, and it's for the right screen size. It's quite a lot that goes into it. It's quite a bit of a minefield, really, of information out there.
But this is quite doable for a lot of people, though, isn't it?
You could do like I actually want to build one of these at home now.
Do you?
I think
you feel like you've done all your tinkering.
Got the winter coming up. I'm thinking I can actually build one of these at home as well. And but I think I need to just hold fire on that for a minute. But yeah, it's like once I've done one, I feel like the second one would be a lot easier to build, you know. So but yeah, it's good. It's amazing what you can do. A lot of, again, it's, you know, looking on YouTube, just watching the videos of how people build them themselves. So yeah, I'm pleased with it. It's worked out quite well.
Well, I think it's absolutely fantastic. And I think the balance for coaching, and especially for you, because you're a big one for this, is coaching is not just about hitting golf balls, getting the numbers, getting the data from video as well. It's also about getting out on the golf course, as we've touched on, and you having this literally 7 or 10 paces from the front door to the golf course.
Yeah,
must be perfect setup for what you need as a coach.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not against technique.
Yeah,
but it has a place, definitely. But I think, you know, 90% of traditional golf coaching is, let's get on a driving range and let's work on somebody's swing. Let's rebuild their swing or change their swing in some way. Whereas I'm more let's look at everything else first, at your whole game, and then let's look at your swing after. And that's where the golf course comes in, going out, doing lessons on the golf course, and just watching how someone plays. Like, I'm in a fortunate position where I get to play with, I don't know, maybe 100 different amateurs a year in pro-ams. And I get to watch them out on the golf course. And there's not many that I would start with I would start coaching them with changing their swing, because they're losing so many golf shots, and they're doing so many things wrong in the rest of their game with how they get around the golf course. You know, their psychology, their all the other elements first before you start. You know, most people have got a good enough swing that they could actually take, you know, 5 or 6, 7 shots off their handicap from just getting everything else correct and then, you know, in keep. And I always use the analogy, like if you gave me an 18 handicapper swing and you gave an 18 handicapper my swing, and we had a game of golf, I'm convinced I would beat them considerably with their swing than what they would do with my swing, because my golfing brain, not trying to brag, but my golfing brain is a lot better than an 18 handicappers. So I would get around the golf course with using the swing that they've got, getting the best out of the swing they've got, and you know, controlling my game properly than what they would do with my swing, hitting nice shots, but they wouldn't be able to score as well. So that, I always use that analogy as get everything else in place first, and then you can work on the technique once you know your golfing brain's sorted, you know.
And the facts are, Paul, that the golfing brain comes from experience. It's all the experience that you've gained from not only your own coaching development in the past as a junior, coming up through the ranks, playing your county, playing your national, turning pro, doing all those things, and also watching other people.
But there's little things like I still think you can fast track people.
Okay.
And it's this sort of, you know, I'm into marginal gains, those sort of areas. It's these little 1% or small percentages improvements in each area that will fast track you to a much better score. Because at the end of the day, it's about how you score. It's not how it looks. It's how you score and how you get it around the golf course. And
Absolutely.
I think a lot of people get obsessed with how your swing looks, and you need to swing it well to score well, but that isn't the case.
Are you now ready to start taking bookings from people to have come up here and have coaching?
And it's going to be more of a coaching journey. It's not going to be you come in, book a 1 hour lesson and think you're going to go away fixed. It's going to be more of a journey where I look at people's whole games, take them out on the golf course, get some numbers in the studio, look at their putting stroke, look at the whole game, talk through their goals, what they want to achieve in golf, and then put in a plan together of how they can do it, maybe over like a period of a winter or something like that, where their scoring is going to get better and their handicap's going to get better. They're not just going to look better technically with their swing, which won't necessarily translate into better golf. It's going to be a way of actually getting their scores down and getting their handicaps down.
Well, I'm going to pop a little link down below in the description of this video. You've seen it on the ticker bar. I'm going to pop it down, the link below. You can go in there, have a little look for yourself. Paul's website now set up. And with that in mind, let's go in there and you can have a little look at my swing.